So it's the end of the year, and I thought I would love to round up my biggest year in business yet. This year, I went full time in my business around July, so it's been about 6 months since I've gone full time. And so today, I want to not only inspire you of what a sustainable online business growth year can look like, but also give you some tactics if you are just starting your business and you want to learn how to really grow this online in a sustainable way without burning out. So with that, I'm also going to share what I've done this year to grow my business and some of the ways that you can adopt the same strategies, the same tactics for your business. So let's get right into it. So let's start with what I do. I'm a podcast producer and I do this on YouTube. So I'm a video podcast producer and I've actually gotten all of my work from referrals, aka word of mouth. So I basically produced one person's podcast through an Instagram story, which is kind of a funny little story there. I started producing this person's podcast through Instagram. They were looking for a video editor who knew a very specific subject matter, which was a little bit rare to be like a video editor, but within a niche where like you have to actually kind of know some of the stuff going on to understand how to edit. So literally from that Instagram story, I reached out and I was like, I know video editing and I also know this niche very well. It's why I follow you, right? And we started working together from that. And literally from there, we had so much success in producing her podcast that her friends who were also in the same niche, her like colleague friends, also wanted to get podcasts produced by me because I knew a very specific skill in video editing, and I also was very well-rounded in knowledge in the niche that they were in. So this is just going to show you that like if you have this similarity in any way, this is something you can capitalize on in 2026. Because I have this skill in video editing, I actually come from a photography and videography background. So I've actually just moved to a new location, but in previous places that I've lived, I've been a small business photographer and videographer for many different types of brands and businesses, whether it was retail, cannabis industry, wellness, yoga, and mostly kind of like retail small business shops. Another thing that I do that I've actually just adopted in December, so it's not a huge part of kind of my growth this year, but it actually is already picking up momentum, is my school community. So this school community is really built for my clients as well as people who want free graphic design, stock media that I have taken over the years that are just sitting on my hard drive, and all other sorts of little toolkits to help with content creation, whether it's short form or long form. Long form content creators are on a premium membership. They pay basically a monthly subscription to have access to these toolkits, bi-weekly consulting, and monthly workshops. And then I have the free community for short form content creators, which is mainly for like social media. Okay, so the very last thing that I do is I actually teach people how to self-produce their own podcast through an interactive course and group consulting program. So this is like a 5-week program where I take on people to learn how to self-produce their own podcast over 5 weeks long. I have had one client do that this year because I actually launched it in maybe October it was, September, October. So I've had one client do that. And she actually is now on the premium membership. So this course is the perfect thing to then lead to the paid membership because after I teach you how to produce your own podcast, you might want continued support, and that is what the membership is for. So that is how I've kind of situated everything this year. What happened was I learned so much producing podcasts for my clients that I basically was like, hey, I know how to teach people what I do for my clients, which is where that course group mentorship comes in. And then I thought, well, I do have so much content that I can help short form creators and long form creators maintain while also giving them bi-weekly support through consulting. And even I do offer a free monthly consultation call for free members too. I'm basically your back pocket content creator or content consultant, right? Where I help people kind of create content, streamline processes, work on time management, get everything done because I come from that exact experience of having a business flop because I gave way too much time to content creation. And I basically teach people how to do it sustainably without burning out. So this is what I do, okay? So now we're gonna get into my traffic sources. So like, how do I make money? How do people come in? how do people find me, right? This is one of my favorite things to talk about because I feel like it is not clear to beginners. I think that as a beginner, you think that you have to be on social media posting all the time. And the truth of the matter is that there's no right way to do any of this, okay? This is the only truth I've been able to really, really be confident in this online space is that every way, every solution, every strategy that people have tried, it actually has worked, right? I'm not going to sit here and deny that like what somebody does is better than the other and what somebody else does is better than both of them, right? Like the way that you go about doing online business, your content strategy, it can work in whatever way that you decide to do it. And even if you haven't seen it proven from somebody else, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to fail. Is it easier to go by someone else's strategy? Absolutely. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's always right for you or it's always going to be right, period. So my main traffic sources for my business is YouTube and email marketing. I also repurpose my content into a blog that goes on my website. Although I don't get much traffic to it, it really is mainly for my email that goes out that talks about the content piece. I basically link out to my YouTube video in that blog, but essentially the blog and the YouTube video are the same thing. So when it comes to marketing my business, truly the only thing I do is one YouTube video a week, and that drives pretty much everything else that I do. So that one video a week drives a blog. It also drives an email. I use the content of the video to make an email that also is giving the same value, but in a different way. And the blog and the email that I repurpose are definitely like a different format and a different way of communicating than my YouTube video. I might start with a different hook in my blog than I do in my YouTube video, for instance, and then I might have a different subject line in my email that really pertains to my email subscribers, right? They are the warmest audience to me, so I'm going to approach them a little bit differently than my YouTube video title and thumbnail. So when you look at my business, you're probably like, wow, this sounds so simple. And it really, really is. It really doesn't have to be complicated. And often sometimes when we do overcomplicate things, things become not only less clear to us, but less clear to our audience. And that is not a place that you want to be. So this is my recommendations for if you are starting your business in 2026 and you want to do this the right way, the sustainable way. You want sustainable growth. You're not really trying to go viral all of a sudden. You're really just trying to build up your passion, your purpose into this business that is going to be so valuable for other people too. My first recommendation is to pick one platform and go all in. You've probably heard that before, but this is something I've learned the hard way, okay? I used to be on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, and it was extremely hard to manage all of them while working a full-time job before I went full-time in my business. And it honestly didn't really result in much. And if you know my story that I've mentioned multiple times on this channel, I did own a wellness product business and it completely burned me out because all I was focusing on was content creation, Instagram. And a lot of the times when we aren't doing things strategically and leading people strategically places, it becomes lost. There's just like a lost intention there. So what I say is pick one platform, go all in, but also know what strategy you are using to drive people back to your business. You want people to go off of these platforms and into your little corner of the internet. So whether that is through saying, hey, I have a free resource in the description. If you get on that, you're also going to get on my email, or download that, you'll get on my email and you'll learn tactics every week in this specific niche, right? Like it all has to make sense for your ideal viewer. But pick one platform, have a strategy, and really just focus on that. Focus your efforts on that, and you will get so much more return because you're giving so much more effort to this one place. My second recommendation is to reach out to people directly and actually have a conversation with them. This might sound scary to you who are beginning in this area of online business, but this is the thing that actually got me, remember what I said in the beginning, the full-time work that I'm doing now. I literally reached out to somebody that I followed that I admired because I listened to her content prior, right? So picking one platform, going all in could get you the eyes of the people to then follow you, to then when you're looking for someone, see how it all could go into a loop. Like there's opportunity to come when you not only create content, but you reach out to people and talk to them, right? You never know what opportunities are going on in someone else's life that you could be the catalyst for. You could be the person that they rely on for this one thing because you have this skill. And another little tidbit with this is I am a proponent of offering one free thing to people so that they trust you. So what I actually did when I reached out to this person through an Instagram story about a video editor who knows the specific niche that we were in, I offered to edit a video for free, completely, just one video completely for free for her. And I called it kind of a trial run, right? Because you also have to respect yourself in knowing that, okay, maybe I don't want to do this. Like you have to understand what you want first too. So it's best to actually do a trial run for both you and your client's sake, to not only understand each other's style, understand how that interaction will go. Obviously be aware that there probably is going to be some like revisions and just like feedback because it's the first time you're doing it for them. But beyond just like the regular revisions feedback, if everything feels natural and cohesive, then your free trial run with this client could probably get you continued work. I'm a big proponent of offering one free thing to the people that you're talking to directly if they have an opportunity come your way, just so you can establish that trust, establish that you also want to be working with this person as well, and building your connections from that place. Okay, my very last recommendation for starters when you're starting your online business is to learn how to stay consistent with content creation. You always want to make sure that you are providing value on what you do and telling people how you can help them, right? These two things of providing the value and telling people how you can help them directly are always going to be interconnected. It should be a very easy and clarifying bridge of, hey, this person just provided a lot of value for me. I was wondering how to do this one thing. Say it's video editing for me, right? Maybe I put out a video on like a very specific way to edit in Descript. And at the end of that video, I say, if you want to learn how to self-produce your own podcast in full, right? This video is not going to cover how to do all that. You can join my membership or you can download the free resource below. This is the bread and butter of online business, okay? When you tell people exactly where they can go beyond helping them, like really helping them, really providing them the value that they're actually looking for, that is when the trust is there. That is when they're going to get into your little corner of the internet and receive continued value from you, not only from email, right? Your blog and email, if you do what I do, but they're going to learn that you might be the best solution for what they're looking for because you helped them exactly with what they were trying to do. When you think about the next steps of engagement, it's probably along the lines of, hey, if you needed help with editing in Descript for a video that you're putting out, you probably need help producing your own podcast if that's something you're doing, or producing someone else's podcast, right? So you have to think of things in ways of like the next best step. What are they really looking for? How can you really draw that bridge and draw that line for them to be so clear that you are just the clearest next step for them to take? So because I provide value in helping you streamline your time, helping you streamline content creation so that it doesn't take up all of your time as an online business owner, I want to invite you to my free community, Essence Essentials. It's where I update every single month with photography and videography that are sitting on my hard drives that have to do with the seasons. You can have like seasonal themed content coming out throughout your months. I offer Canva graphic templates that have worked for me in the past of being a social media manager for 5 years. And I also offer free monthly group consultation calls for my free members. So you get so much value from just being a part of this little free community. Oh, and I forgot about the whole entire free resource vault that I have that has a bunch of content creation, time management, and strategy tools for you to also download and use in your own workflow. I would love to see you do amazing things on your short form content platforms and even long form content platforms this year. So I would love to have you in the community to share your wins, share what you're doing. I would love to meet you. Thanks so much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.